Good afternoon. My name is A Pedestrian. I've taken a break from listening to Test Match Special to talk to you about the traditional English thumbstick, and here it is. It's the treasured icon of the countryman. He goes out everywhere with it, and he keeps it in the hall, and he hands it down through the generations. And I'm going to show you what I think of this thumbstick. There. It's dry, it's useless, and I'm going to show you how to cut a proper stick, and let's go and find some hazel. This is hazel that's been allowed to grow far too much, and it's not very healthy because the trunks are much too big. Hazel should be coppiced regularly every 7 years, and then you get a succession of hazel rods coming up, and that's what you want. And a hazel clump like this will last for generations, hundreds of years probably. But as it is, when it starts getting big like this, it will rot, these will fall, the rot will get into the stump, and that's the end of it really. But anyway, we found ourselves a suitable hazel rod, and with my little saw here I'm going to show you, cut it off at the base, down here. Okay. Obviously it's much too long as it is, so I'm going to saw a bit off, get the right height back there perhaps. Okay. So there we have it. That's a hazel stick that's hasn't got a cleft in the top, but it's going to be much more useful because you've got the thicker end in your hand and you've got a thinner end at the bottom, and it's going to be quite whippy. And that's what you want. You want a whippy stick so you can knock back brambles, nettles and that kind of thing. And that's all you need. And it doesn't need to be a cherished stick, it doesn't need to look nice, it just needs to be effective. And it's thick enough to support you, which is also what you need. And there you are, simple as that. And I might use 3 or 4 of these throughout the season. Just go and find another one when one breaks. And I'm never without it. So let's go and find a bit of vegetation to smash with our stick. Okay, so here we are then. Here's the hazel stick. Here's some vegetation. Here's a stile. This is a traditional English footpath. Traditional recycled plastic post. So what I'm going to do is knock back the vegetation with my stick. Any normal person who's out walking has a stick, then they can do the same. It's much better to do that than to start writing to your local authority complaining about a couple of nettles. So if you take a stick with you, you can deal with it yourself. And the next person comes along, they've got a stick, and they can knock it back, knock back a bramble. Before you know it, the path's clear. Obviously not the whole thing, but around the stiles and around the access points, which is really where most of the vegetation seems to accumulate. So here we are with our stick, nice and bendy. This is the thick end from the base of the trunk. This is the bit we're holding on to. There's also a little bit of a handle there, it's a bit of a curve. So what I'm going to do is just beat the vegetation back. And it's as simple as that really. So here we go. The thing about nettles, when you cut nettles, they really get invigorated and they start growing much thicker and faster. If you break them, you don't actually sever them, it sort of breaks the will and they kind of struggle on, they don't really do anything. So you're actually better off breaking the nettle and it just lies there, incapacitated. Also, when you have a branch like that, it's not a thorn or anything, but with your stick you can actually break that off as well. It's whippy enough to do that. You can even break branches off that are the same thickness as the stick. And that's the feature of a bendy, fresh hazel stick. You might have to wait a minute because the dogs run off down the road. stile step needs replacing. Better talk to the local authority about that. A bit wobbly. So there you are really, that's it. I mean, how long did that take? Half a minute? No. Minute and a half. Doesn't look pretty, but it's pretty effective. And it's all done with your stick. So there you are then really. The hazel stick. It's not a thumbstick, it's just a stick. And don't get too possessive about it because you'll probably end up breaking it. And you can go and cut another one. There's plenty of it around, plenty of hazel about. And you're not doing the tree any harm because it needs coppicing, it needs cutting back. So there's many other things you can do with it. You can poke into deep puddles, see how deep they are, poke into mud. You can turn flints over in a field and if you're looking for prehistoric flint, like I always am. And if you're in a field with horses in it, you can stick it under your arm like this, because when they come up behind you, the first thing they do is prod themselves on their nose with this stick. And then they go away. But otherwise they start nipping you and sort of trying to eat your collar. So there's many functions for a hazel stick. And it's a good companion. But as I say, don't get too attached to it because you'll end up breaking it. But that doesn't matter. So there we are. Thank you. This is a pedestrian, this is a stile, this is a footpath, and I'm going for a walk.